Yeah, it's the end of another franchise. Welcome to it. You're jacked in. I'm your host, Daniel Ehrenberg. Over there's Logan B. Adair. And today we're talking about the final two films of George Andrew Romero, uh, aka the final two films in the Of the Dead franchise. Although, according to his last remaining spouse, there's going to be more. All right, Logan,
Yep.
how are you today?
I am okay. I woke up and I got on the Skype and I'm ready to do this. These are the worst movies, I'll say that up front. But
These
people
suck.
know that. People watching along, they already know that.
Yeah, I saw a couple defenders on Letterbox, but not too many. These are I'd never. These are the only ones I'd never seen before doing this for the podcast. Okay, and I hope I never watch these again. I thought they were terrible. I'm shocked that they came from the mind of George Romero. Like, all right, so
I'm not.
my first podcast ever, Logan, was about the reality TV show Survivor. Okay,
Yep.
and my joke there, I always thought Jeff Probst was the best host of any reality game show. Okay, and then at a certain point, he became over enthusiastic, like he was, I don't know, accommodating for something, for some of his failures. Something. Anyway, my joke was always that at a certain point he got a brain tumor, and there's like the post Jeff Probst brain tumor episodes of Survivor, as well as the pre ones, and I feel that these two movies are the post George Romero brain tumor episodes of the Dead franchise.
What happened though? Because he came back kind of strong.
He did, but I think like all the ideas he'd had for zombies in the last 20 years, he put in Land of the Dead. And then he was like, "Hey, I made a little bit of money off of that movie. Let me make a couple more of these bad boys."
Yeah, and you can tell that's what he's doing because it's found footage. He's just cashing in on what's popular at the time rather than having an actual Romero type idea.
And like he's talking shit. Like I read that the reason he wanted to do a found footage movie was because he thought the Blair Witch Project sucked, and he thought he could do better. And then in all these movies, like characters are constantly ripping on fast zombies. Like I told you, fucking dead people would walk slow because whatever their heels would break. Like like these movies are an exercise in shitting on movies like The Blair Witch Project and 28 Days Later and the Dawn of the Dead remake, all of which are better than these movies.
Yeah, he should appreciate things that sort of laid the foundation, the way he did with how would he feel if people made zombie movies and were like shitting on Romero? That's like what he's doing. He wouldn't like that.
I'm going to do that.
You're gonna make zombie movies and just
I'm going to
poop all
start
over
making
George Romero?
zombie movies, and the entire purpose is to shit on George Romero.
Well, I feel like that's what Kirkman did. He just ripped off all Romero's ideas and
He,
made
he,
it made them worse.
he was respectful about it, at least.
Yeah, is he like the Tarantino? Like how Tarantino takes inspiration rather than rip people off?
No. Kirkman ripped people off. I mean, but he is clearly a fan. He's
Oh, I
doing it
meant to
out
send
of
you a picture yesterday,
what?
but I didn't do it. Should I do it now? The pictures of the zombies' heads on the stakes.
I watched it last night. Why do you need to send me a picture?
Oh, just because that's a Walking Dead thing. Like he literally takes everything from The Walking Dead.
Oh, did you
The, the,
are you sending me a picture from The Walking Dead?
it was both of them, like a side by side. But there were four instances from the worst one, from the worst of these movies, in my opinion, and that's the one that he rips the most off from.
I mean, he's pulling from. It must have been so exciting for Kirkman because, like, he was already writing the Walking Dead comic when these last two movies premiered, and so it was like free ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Let's move on from Kirkman. I'm done with The Walking Dead.
yeah, me too. Um, so Romero, let's talk about him.
Yeah.
In 2008, It's 3 years past Land of the Dead. He decides, I'm going to make a found footage horror movie. He claims he'd never heard of Cloverfield. He didn't know that was coming out. And, which is actually plausible because remember that movie was only announced like 3 weeks before it came out or something.
But what about Paranormal Activity? That's the big one.
That had come out. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's the year prior.
He didn't even mention that.
Maybe. Yeah, I thought that's where you were going.
No, it was a response to the Blair Witch Project 10 fucking years later. A movie that, like, for all its faults, is pretty well revered.
I love that movie. Henry does too.
I like that movie.
Me and Henry feel the same. Yeah, you like it.
Yeah. So let's talk. There's really nothing to say. It's nominated for no awards. Like, it has no famous actors in it. The casting, like, they just went through, like, every actor that I recognized in this movie, I recognized from a Canadian TV show.
Yeah.
Various Canadian TV shows. Degrassi, The LA Complex, Orphan Black. All right, so I mean, there's really nothing to say with
Saw 3.
One of them was in Saw 3.
Oh yeah.
Which one?
The one who comes back in the next movie, the military guy. He robs them in this movie, and then he's like the main lead in the next movie. Him.
All right. Well, all right. They had a budget of $2 million, which is by far the least, because he shot this one independently. Land of the Dead had studio backing. I guess that's why he was able to get Dennis Hopper and like Johnny Legs and shit. But only $2 million for this one. He made it back. It made $5.3 million at the box office. Probably a lot more on DVD. I bet both these movies did well on DVD. But it's not even like Box Office Mojo is the website I use for box office stats, and they only compile the top 200 grossing movies of every year, and neither one of these movies even made the list.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So let's jump right in.
Yeah.
Who are well, first there's a prologue, right?
Sure. Tell me about it.
We see a news reporter implausibly named Brie Reno.
I kind of like this, actually. It was like well choreographed, I feel like. Like the camera movements were cool and well staged, I thought. I don't know.
No, I kind of agree with you. I was like, is Brie... I assumed Brie Reno was going to be the lead of the movie. And so I was like, this is all right. You got like an excuse for the camera. Like it's a news report, you know? But no, she dies like instantly. And so does her cameraman. So it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's setting up. It's the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. We're going back in time again. Land of the Dead was a sequel to the original trilogy, and this one, it takes place. They say it takes place concurrently with Night of the Living Dead. Right,
and then the next one is a direct sequel to this one.
It's amazing to think about, like, those characters from 1969's Night of the Living Dead existing side by side with these people who are, like, talking about PlayStation and shit all the time. So then you get some voiceover by our female lead, the ridiculously forgettable Michelle Morgan.
She was all right. She was serviceable. I had no problem.
She's better than a lot of them. But, you know, it was crazy to me that Tatiana Maslany is in this movie. Like one of the great TV actors of the last decade. And this is before she was famous. They could have gotten her for a song. You know, they could have paid her $5 to be the female lead in this movie. The eventual She-Hulk. And she is in 2 scenes and dies.
Yeah, they could have said to the zombies, "We have a She-Hulk," but then she died
Yeah.
too quick.
I would argue that George Romero is not the greatest spotter of acting talent.
Yeah, I would say that that's fair. Although he does cast Saw actors, so he knows something about something. But her whole character made no sense to me. Like she gets what is it? She runs somebody over early on. She's like the driver of the car, and she runs somebody over, and she's like, "Oh my God, was that a real person?" And they're like, "No, it was a zombie. Don't even worry about it." And she's like, "No, it was real." And she goes and she just kills herself. That's her character.
Oh, that's the Tatiana Maslany character.
Yeah, she just commits suicide because she thinks she ran over a human.
No,
And they're like,
literally,
it's a
she
zombie."
like walks over to the woods for like 1 second as though she's gonna go take a piss, and then you hear like an off-screen gunshot, and she's dead for the rest of the movie.
It made no sense. But a lot of choices in these two movies don't make sense. But that's the
But
start
she
of it,
was.
I feel like.
They also set up that she's super religious. So, as we know, religious people are incredibly stupid.
Right. I guess I didn't really learn that, to be honest.
Well, she says like she touches a thing of Saint Anthony early on in the movie, and she's like, "This guy's gonna be helping us a lot today."
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But wait, if she's so religious, why'd she kill herself? She's gonna
Oh,
go
yeah,
to
you're going
hell
to hell.
now.
Yeah. He's not going to let you in heaven if you kill yourself.
Yeah, Saint Anthony's gonna shit on you, dude.
It's a great point.
Yeah, thank you, Logan. But the other main character, Michelle Morgan, what's her name?
Deborah.
Right? They call her Deb for short. And because George A. Romero grew up in like the 30s, and that's what women were named back then. She's gets a voiceover monologue, and it's all about how important blogs are, and the net. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. This was a real you're jacked in situation.
Yeah, so I was watching Cry Wolf for a second.
Cry_wolf, thank you. Yeah. You get an alternate title of this movie. We're watching Diary of the Dead here, which, by the way, the internet does not want you to know. Like, if you try to type in Diary of the Dead, you'll get to the very last letter, and they'll still be saying, "Are you fucking sure? I think you're trying to Google Diary of a Wimpy Kid."
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. It happened with both these movies. Survival of the Dead, like it's like surely you're
Survival
looking
of
up
the
what
fittest.
survival of the fittest means. Like,
Yeah,
but
I did notice that with
Yeah.
that one. You're right.
but her boyfriend Jason Creed,
He's the main photographer or
Yeah.
videographer.
who I would argue is the worst Creed on the planet Earth.
Yeah, I agree.
He's directing a film called The Death of Death. All right, which is a very thought-provoking title. And he's a student filmmaker, and that's what the movie turns out to be. But first, we see him before the zombie apocalypse trying to shoot a movie about mummies. They all go to Pitt University, and they're all film students, and they're shooting a movie in the woods. Their professor's there for some reason, even though it's nighttime, and it's clearly just student project. But he's just this creepy.
We watch Buffy every week where Giles is.
He's her watcher.
Maybe this guy is a watcher. We just don't know about.
That's not a thing.
Deborah's watcher.
Deborah's watcher. Yeah, I bet you he is. Oh my god! You think that guy's not getting a piece in the panic room at the end?
Oh, come on.
But he's just like this alcoholic British
I like
guy.
him. I thought it was cool. Like Giles. Giles is an alcoholic British guy. Actually, I don't know that for sure.
But I don't know. I was like, what is this British accent? Like, I don't think this actor's British. And I looked him up, and surely he was not.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was from Baltimore.
I didn't pick up on that. By the way, I did not know. I mean, I think that you told me, but I didn't know that there was like a pre-Shyamalan. I didn't know Romero made all of his movies in Pennsylvania. I didn't know that was a thing. Like, I know King, he's like a Maine guy, right? He makes all his stuff in Maine.
Yeah.
But I didn't know there was like a Pitts or a Philadelphia guy prior to Shyamalan.
There are a lot of Philadelphia loyalists, Logan, like Zachary Quinto.
Rocky. He never left Philly.
Yeah, but Stallone's not from Philly, is he?
Right. I don't actually don't know.
I think they don't celebrate Stallone there. They just celebrate the fact that a fictional fucking character lived there.
Right.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have even done that unless Stallone was like, "Hey, make a statue for this third movie." Like they wouldn't have done that probably.
Yeah,
unless
you're
Stallone
probably
did it.
right. Unless they did that, I think I maybe in the research I found out they did that and then he incorporated it into the movie.
Oh, you might be right.
Yeah.
I don't know much about it, so I probably sound dumb.
Whatever.
Stallone's from New York.
All right, so it's October 24th, 11 p.m., and they're filming this mummy movie in the woods, delusionally, as though they're going to top Stephen Sommers.
What does that mean?
The guy that directed the fucking Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, but why are you saying delusionally? I think these guys could do it.
You think these guys could do it?
I think they had something.
Look at this fucking mummy costume.
I thought that the scene they were shooting was pretty compelling.
I think it wasn't even as good as season 2, episode 4 of Buffy, Inca Mummy Girl.
Well, that's one of the bottom 5 episodes, probably.
I agree, and it's not even as good as that.
Well, no one's as good as Ampada. Ampada?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Oh my god! I want to say Ramada. Oh, I want to do so bad. No, I mean I agree, but I'll tell you, I liked the end of this movie when it goes back to this scene where like the mummy's chasing her through the woods. I was like, all right, whatever. I'll
It's
give it
badly made. I don't mind the idea in theory.
Well, I'm getting to it. I liked it at first. Like it gets to that part. And I was like, all right, this is okay. This is fine. And then immediately she's like, this is just like your movie. And I was like, oh my god. Of course she has to reference the thing that loves. Like it was immediate too.
Yeah.
So, but that was a bummer. But that was like one moment. I was like, all right. And then no.
I like their top fell off though.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. So
basically they hear on the radio like zombies.
Zombies are happening. And they're like, well, that seems serious. We should do something about that. Good thing we have a Winnebago. So couple of them leave to go to like this rich kid who's playing the mummy. They decide they're going to go to his house, him and this other girl, the Texan, right? No, the Texan goes with them. Some other girl. Anyway, but Jason Creed, he's got other ideas. He's got a pants chain, which was way too late for a pants chain in 2008, I think.
Like a wallet chain?
Yeah.
That's too late for that?
I think so.
Yeah,
and so he knows that his girlfriend Deb is.
How do you know that? He's always on the camera.
In the mummy scene.
No, that they get another camera, don't they? At one point, they're like, "Hey, we found a second camera, so now we can have 2 views of stuff."
Yeah. So yeah, and then the girl's like, "How do you like it, Jason? I'm sticking this in your face during a tough situation. How do you like it?" Yeah. So Deb is from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and they decided to go there. They figured they could stop at a Chili's. There's there's Chili's down there.
Yeah, there's also the paper company.
Right.
What's it called?
Michael Scott Paper Company.
Dunder Mifflin.
Right.
Dunder Mifflin.
Right.
And that means they're all dead. Did you notice that? Like they go there at one point, her family's all dead, so that means that
the cast of The Office is dead.
Stanley's dead.
Yeah.
Meredith, she's probably dead.
Good thing they shot that show in L.A. But one time I drove through Scranton and I stopped and ate at a Chili's because I thought it was be funny, and it was.
Why is that crazy? You don't know Chili's?
No, I love Chili's, but like in of course the classic episode of The Office, the Dundies logo.
Oh, that's what you were
go to Chili's. Yeah,
I understand.
So that's why I made that call.
Gotcha.
Okay. So they all pile into the Winnebago. You got your Jason and Deb, a great team. You've got Professor Andrew Maxwell and his fake British accent. You've got a Texas girl named Tracy. All we know about her is that she's from Texas, and she brings it up in every single line of dialogue she has in the entire movie.
She's really bad, but also a really compelling person in the movie. I thought she was fun.
All right, you got this nerdy guy named Elliot, played by Joe Dinicol from the LA Complex, who I've always thought of as like a poor man's Jay Baruchel. And you got Wesker from Resident Evil, who's also
Rogue's boyfriend.
Yeah, Rogue's boyfriend, who's also in Degrassi, and he was in the last movie, but he's playing a different character in this movie.
Yeah, they do that all the time.
And he's supposed to be like a real dick, I feel like. You're supposed to side with Jason Creed, like he's the nice guy, and then this other dude's trying to like move in on his girlfriend. And the whole movie, I'm just like, go with Wesker. Like, this Creed guy's a piece of shit. He's a pretentious, awful filmmaker, trying to upload videos on the internet during the zombie apocalypse, caring more about charging his fucking camera.
That was a horrible scene when he's like, I gotta stay back and charge my camera. And then he's like, oh no, I'm back here by myself, but my camera's gotta charge. I gotta stay with it. Like, and he was talking to himself. So it's really, really bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, what if Wesker's better looking, seems nicer, seems more, like he's got it together during the apocalypse. What are you doing?
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So after Maslany kills herself, they go over to the hospital.
Yeah.
And it's like one of these zombie overrun hospitals. You've seen this in zombie movies, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And they go in there and Maslany turns into a zombie. Does anything actually happen during the sequence?
Yeah, they find a second camera. Horrible line of dialogue. I don't have it exactly, but they find a nurse and a doctor zombie, and they're like, of course, how ironic, a dead nurse and a dead doctor. Of course it would be that way.
Dead doctor, dead nurse. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Why is that ironic?
I guess because they help save lives, but they're dead, right?
See, this is what I'm talking about with Romero's brain tumor. Like, this is a guy who had genuine thoughts and ideas about life in America and civilization and the fragility of it. And you go back, you watch Day of the... Even up to Land of the Dead, the guy's got major ideas. And now... what is that? That's nothing.
Devil's advocate. Didn't you say, like... He wasn't even trying to cast a black guy in the first movie. He just like, that was the best guy. It's like, I think maybe he wasn't even trying to say something about like race or anything originally. And we were just like, whoa, that's cool. He like made a statement. And then so later he was like trying to chase that and make more statements.
But he did. Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, even if you want to pretend that Night of the Living Dead had nothing to say, it's just a creature feature. Like if
do you think that was successful?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of its ideas, like Night of the Living Dead, if you're right, and he was just trying to make a creature feature, then that's fine. But like Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead and Land of the Dead even are clearly ambitious movies that are more interested in talking about American life than they are about, heads exploding.
But what about the end of this one when the message is like, was like, are we really a species worth saving? What about that?
I just think maybe it's a case of...
Put that in your pipe and smoke it, D-Train.
I think, and I'm worried about this in terms of myself, I think people get stupider as they get older.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it's because like
Did we hit a peak? Like 40 as a peak?
Yeah, maybe. Like, maybe you just stop learning. You stop being interested in new things.
You just get so set in what you know. Like, you're not going to take any other opinion.
Right. So, I don't know. Maybe, like, the last book George Romero read was in the 90s or something.
Hey, look how smart I am. I never read a single one of those.
Come on. You should crack one open one of these days.
Give me a rec. Maybe I'll read one.
I'll think about it.
Instead of a movie, give me a book or rec.
I need to think of one that's like short but still smart. All right. All right. So after the hospital, it's
Oh no! One guy dies in the hospital, and the professor they kill him, and the professor goes, "He flunked out." I like that one. That was a good one. Can we go to this Amish farm?
Well, that's what I was gonna say next. Yeah.
This was insane to me. Did you notice this? So this guy, he shows up. He has a chalkboard because he's mute.
Yeah.
But he writes on the chalkboard. I'm not even kidding. If you want me to find a screenshot, I can. But this was crazy. He writes on the chalkboard, "Can't hear." Okay? And then the whole time they're there, he has no problem hearing them. He needs the chalkboard to talk to them. Like, I don't know if they fucked up, if he fucked up and they didn't catch that he wrote "here" instead of "talk." I don't know what happened, or if I'm dumb and I don't. But I thought it was so crazy. I don't know. I don't really know what to say.
Yeah. Look, it's an episodic movie, and there's like 5 episodes, okay? Episode 1, Mummy movie. Episode 2, Hospital. Episode 3, Amish Country. Episode 4, National Guard. And Episode 5, Huge House.
What about
All
when
right.
they go to Debbie's house and her family's there as zombies?
Oh, yeah, that's an episode 2. You're right.
So 6 episodes.
6 episodes, yeah. But Amish Country episode is basically, I mean, nothing happens in the sequence. It's
Did
basically,
you count the warehouse with all the black people?
isn't that National Guard?
Oh yeah, is that National Guard? No, I thought those were just like people who took over a warehouse.
No,
Or, like,
but
they called them looters or something.
But the
like
main
they were-
guy said that he was a National Guardsman.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking of.
That was weird though. It was just like all black people and then one white guy. There's one white guy in there.
Really? I didn't. I didn't even notice that.
I only noticed because it was the guy from those previous movie. That guy Boyd Banks. It was that guy.
Oh,
he was
yeah,
he was like
you're right.
helping him. He was like, the guy was like, "Can I have a bow and arrow?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, take it."
And he does. He has a bow and arrow for like the rest of the movie. That teacher. He does a good
Yeah.
job with it too.
He kills her brother, right? He
He
pins
Gets
into the wall.
yeah,
with
gets
it.
him right through the head.
That was a good shot. Yeah.
Yeah, that might have been the best kill in the movie. I guess I just appreciate when kids die and stuff.
Yeah, and that was such a shocking moment. I mean, that whole moment's crazy. She's like, "I was gonna take this out, but I thought for authenticity, you guys
That's
deserve to
so
see it."
stupid.
That's so funny. No, I thought that it ruled.
I
was like, "What are we
hated
about to
that.
see right now? What is going on?"
Why would she
that's
take that out?
because it was her family. She thought it was really personal.
Yeah, but I thought the whole point of this movie is like we're trying to show you what things are really like out in the world right now.
But nobody else with little kids. That was her little brother.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. That was like the one part in the movie where I was like, this is pretty fun. Maybe I think I might give it a 2. And then like toward the end, it just gets too many bad decisions toward the end. Not to spoil everything, but keep going. Sorry.
Anyway, Amish Country. It basically ends with I like that dude. He has a scythe. And
Yeah,
there's like
that
a
was cool.
zombie coming up behind him, and he just kills the zombie by stabbing himself through the head, and so he also kills the zombie that's behind him.
Yeah, sick.
It's, I mean, that is like borderline R word, dude.
What does that mean?
I don't want to say it.
You didn't like that? That was awesome.
Dude, but how it's like it goes through his skull like it's made of paper.
It's a scythe. You ever play with a scythe? Who knows how sharp those things are?
No,
That's what it's a Grim Reaper's weapon of choice. You think he's gonna pick a
you're
soft
right.
weapon?
I guess you're right. I did see a video on the internet once of someone mowing their lawn with a scythe, and it
Whoa.
it really cut that grass easy.
That's pretty cool. They use that to kill Buckbeak, right? Well, they don't because they escape with him, but they try to kill Buckbeak with a scythe. Remember
In
that?
what?
Prisoner of Azkaban. Remember that? There's that guy who's going to try to kill Buckbeak, but then they escape him when they go back through time. They save his life, and then he cuts a pumpkin. Who cares? All right, where are we?
The National Guard thing. Internet.
Yeah.
They get internet access.
MySpace. They go on MySpace.
Do they? I didn't notice.
Oh
that.
yeah, there's a MySpace on the screen.
But the whole point is like, let's get online, and Deb thinks they're gonna like get in contact with their families and shit, but they don't even care about that. They just want to post their stupid little footage.
Yeah.
But don't worry, they get like 1 billion hits.
Yeah.
In like
so
the
many
first
hits.
minute it's on the internet. Probably more hits than this podcast has ever gotten, Logan.
Yeah. How's that? How's that to think about?
It feels bad. Feels bad, man.
I like when they kill one with acid. That was a cool effect.
They kill
if it
one
was,
with
like-
acid.
They like pour acid on its head, and you can see it like melting its head. I thought that was kind of fun.
Oh yeah, I guess.
All right.
All right, but and this then this is when they go to Scranton, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of like this part of the movie the most, just because like the suburban milieu makes sense for this franchise.
Yeah.
And it has some actually shocking things, like the brother jumping her and stuff. I mean, I figured everyone was dead, but still, it came out of nowhere. Like, it's a little kid zombie. That's cool.
Yeah, and I did like the setup of that whole thing. It's something I didn't like in this part. They break into her house because the door is locked. Like they beat her. She thinks she beat her family. She's like, "How did I beat my family here?" Or whatever. And they break in, and there's like one of the most annoying alarm systems I've ever heard in a movie. It goes on so long and it's so loud. I really think this might be #1 most annoying alarm system I've ever heard.
I honestly didn't notice it at all.
It just took them so long to turn it off. I really hated it.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. You ever watch a movie and like a phone is ringing, and you're like, pick up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
It happens at the beginning of Once Upon a Time in America. It's the most annoying part of that movie. Pick up the
Yeah.
goddamn phone, De Niro.
All right, I know what you're talking about
Yeah.
for sure.
Or like, you ever see an alarm go off in the movie and it's exactly the alarm you use to wake up in the morning? That's
Yeah,
a horrible feeling.
Anytime I hear like the iPhone like marimba, I think is what it's called, like that phone ring.
Yeah.
my skin wants to like run away from my body. It's bad.
I was watching something recently, and the main character used my wake up tone as his ringtone. So every time his phone
Wow.
rang in the movie, I felt like I needed to wake up. It sucked.
What's your wake? Is it wake up? Did it? You know what that is?
No,
That's the Wake Up San Francisco jingle
from what?
from Full House.
Oh,
You know, Danny and Becky. They
yeah, I
host
know.
Wake Up
Yeah,
San Francisco.
they host a great show.
Yeah, and then they do like Wake Up America or something like that on the Fuller House. I think it's something.
Oh,
crazy
really?
like
They go
that.
national with it.
I think so.
All right. So then you meet the National Guard guy who's going to be our lead in the next movie, and he comes across like a fucking sociopath, killing old people, random old people, and you're like, well, I want to follow him to another movie. Let's.
You want me to remind you who he was in Saw 3?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the thing in Saw 3 is like they kidnap a woman nurse, right? And like you have to work on John Kramer. He has cancer. You have to work on his brain. And then there's a guy going through the traps, right? And he's like going through the traps because a woman killed his kid or a guy killed his kid in a car accident. Do you remember any of this? And then it turns out those two characters were married. Does that ring a bell?
Kind of, yeah.
But it starts out, she's having an affair. And she's in a room with this guy, and she's like, "What do you even want from me?" And he's like, "An affair." And you're supposed to think that that's her husband, and they're going through a rough patch, but really they're cheating together, and he wants her to break up with the husband. That's who that guy is. He's the like mistress or whatever you'd call it.
Wow, the Saw movies were so twisty. Every single one of them had all these twists and turns. What a fun franchise! All right,
Really.
all
Made by Twisted Pictures, I think.
I think
Pictures.
you're right. Yeah. There's like a nail and some barbed wire. And
Yep,
shit.
spins around, twists
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's how you know. So the next stop, they're like, well, let's go to that rich kid's house who like pieced out in like the first scene of the movie. So they do. Ridley, that's his name.
He's a lot. I thought I didn't really like him.
Yeah, I don't really either. But they go over to his house. He's listening to Chopin's Raindrop, my favorite classical piano piece. I don't know why he's listening to it, but I guess it sets the mood. Hey, so yesterday morning at like 8:30, we'd recorded about 35 minutes of this episode, and Las Vegas internet just decided to not work. It wasn't just me. I went online. Everybody in Las Vegas was complaining about it. This is something that never would have happened in New York City, by the way. And I had no internet from like 8:30 until like 1 p.m. So we were like, let's just fucking put the episode up late. And now here we are. We're going to record the rest.
Yeah, so I'll try to be as enthusiastic as I was in part 1. But now I've seen a new Fast and Furious movie. I saw 2 Buffy episodes, one that I thought was really great. So lots on my mind, but I'll try to get back into the Romero headspace.
Same here. I watched the entire Waco miniseries yesterday, the new one. I watched the first 3 episodes of the new season of 911. I watched Monday Night Raw. I watched Top Chef. These were a long time ago now.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. All right, so we left off at we were doing, what's this one called? Diary of the Dead.
We were at that kid's house.
Yeah, the mummy, the rich mummy. We get to his rich people house, and he's listening to Chopin. That's how you know it's a nice house. And then they pretty quickly realize shit's wrong in there because the door was wide open. And the problem is his whole family and that girl he brought over earlier, they're all zombies. They're out in the pool. He's been going... What?
Well, go ahead.
He loves underwater zombies in the 2000s, Romero. These 3 all have underwater zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. He's got a panic room. And I'm like, all right, great. Zombie apocalypse solved. Everybody pile into the fucking panic room. But this nerd, Jason Creed, is still just like, I can't go in the panic room. I've got to record everything for the internet.
Yeah. Before we get to the panic room part, when he goes to that pool, when he goes to show them everybody that's in the pool, there's one part that I really didn't like.
Oh my god, I bet it's gonna be the same thing. There's one part of this movie I felt like George Romero thought I was stupid or something.
Yeah, the flashback.
Yes,
it's insane, right? It's a flashback to something we just saw.
It is out fucking rageous. It's like we had a commercial break or something, but we didn't. Jason Creed, sorry. He's he like opens the door to the back and you see that he's been bitten.
Even the shot of him bit makes me feel like I'm stupid. Like it's like right on his wrist and it like zooms in a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, look at it. And then they show you again, like double down on how stupid you are.
Romero doesn't trust his audience anymore. He's like, I bet they didn't see that zoom in that I did on that bite. So literally, I think under 30 seconds after that,
yeah, I think so.
The Jason Creed like turns to Deb and he's like, "Hey,
remember what just happened?"
No, he's like, "Did you notice that fucking this dude got bit?" And she's like, "Yeah, I did." And then they show us a little flashback of that zoom in from 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen this, we're not kidding. This literally happened.
Yeah, you should post this clip somewhere.
Where?
I don't know.
Twitter?
It's so stupid. It's embarrassing, man.
Yeah,
like I remember in the first episode of The Wire, all right? They do one of these. It's after like 50 minutes though, okay? And they show a little clip like, remember this guy from 50 minutes ago? And I remember reading like David Simon was like resistant to putting that in. Like he trusts his audience. He's like, people will remember, and HBO insisted because it was the pilot and they wanted people to stay interested.
Yeah.
I mean,
bless you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Oh, I appreciate it, Logan. But yeah, like Romero does not come from this universe. This is post brain tumor Romero.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And I told you, I talked about yesterday or like 15 minutes ago or whatever about how like I was kind of at a 2 at a certain point when like her crazy zombie brother showed up after she was like, I don't know if I want to show you guys this. I was like, all right, this is fun. I'm like connecting with this movie. I kind of like it. And then at this point, he just lost me.
Yeah, I wanted to like this section because it's like in a mansion, and which is a fun milieu for zombies, and they're using a lot of like security footage and stuff, which I thought was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember reading that George Romero wrote a draft of the Resident Evil script, like the original one, and it didn't get used, but like I was like, this is what that could have been. Because that original Resident Evil game is them tromping around a mansion. And so I got like excited at first, and then it was the worst part of the movie.
Yeah, I agree. It's where he lost me. And it's also when they run through the woods and the girl's like, this is just like your movie. And she does a callback also, like reminding the audience, like it's back-to-back scenes. It's a really rough ending.
And like this is supposed to be like the cinema verite zombie movie. Like he's shooting it like found footage, so everything should be slightly realer than it usually is. And if anything, I felt like it was more theatrical than anything in like fucking Day of the Dead.
Yeah, I think it's because you're having to stage it more for like the handheld element.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree with you though.
And he didn't do the thing where like he lets them film it either. Like there's a cinematographer in this movie, and so like everything's choreographed, even though he's doing it found footage, and it feels that way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy! All right,
so what? They go to the panic room. There's that ending I think we talked about it yesterday, where they're like, where I think guys are like bullied. They like use zombies as target practice, and they're like, "Are we really a species worth saving after all?" And you're like, "Whoa!"
I feel like that's in like every one of these movies.
Really?
Yeah, like it. Didn't they do that at the end of the Night of the Living Dead remake? That was like fucking 20 years ago. We need to do it again?
I think it's funny. I like it.
And it just looks like garbage. All this CGI blood in these movies. I mean, I don't understand it. It's a bummer. Like this is such a great franchise. Like one of the best franchises we've done. Like 3 great movies to start off, 2 excellent remakes.
Yes, I agree.
And Land of the Dead, which has problems, but is
ideas,
sort of fascinating.
Yeah, it's interesting. There are fascinating elements to it for sure.
And then these 2, I mean, not to get into Survival of the Dead yet, but these are fucking duds.
Yeah, by the way, this might not even be the worst one.
No, I like this more than Survival of the Dead.
Yeah, so it's only going to go downhill from here.
Yeah.
But are we at the end?
Yeah, what do you give it?
I'll give it a 1.
Me too.
Sorry.
Whatever. Who's your MVP?
I'm going to go with the lead. I'll go Deborah. I thought she was serviceable. You didn't like her though, right?
Deborah!
I should have known that was coming.
I did it during the movie too. Let me see. Diary of the Dead. I'm looking it up, but it's of course not letting me because it thinks I want Diary of the Wimpy Kid.
Sean Roberts.
Oh,
you hated Creed.
Yeah, you're right. I think that is the answer for me.
Sean.
Wait, we didn't even talk about the Texan girl who like takes off in the Winnebago. And she goes, "Don't mess with Texas." She leaves.
Yeah, that was funny. After she loses her top, right?
Yeah,
there's like an unnecessary topless scene.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go with Wesker from the Resident Evil franchise, Sean Roberts.
All right, LVP. What do you got? I got 2 contenders.
I think the dude Creed.
Oh, that's not who I had written down. I wrote Elliot. Remember how he died, Elliot? Remember that?
Who's Elliot? Oh, Elliot from the LA
He's like
complex,
the nerd
right?
one.
Yeah. How did he die?
Yeah. He takes a shower at one point, and then he gets out of the shower and he starts blow drying his hair, and a zombie comes in and kills him while he's blow
Oh
drying his
yeah,
hair.
he just sort of like gets tackled into the bath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um.
So there goes Elliot. And then I wrote down Ridley, the mummy guy. I thought he was really over the top, not in a good way.
I didn't mind him, to be honest. Like he was over the top at the end, like when he's like fucking catatonic and scared and weird, and like trying to pretend nothing's happening. But I
maybe that's why.
thought he was funny enough in that opening mummy scene. Like he's definitely not my LVP. I think Jason Creed, he's in every fucking scene of this movie. He's an insufferable character. It's not a good performance. It's a stupid character name. He sucks.
I think it's a cool character name.
Jason Creed.
Strong name.
He's-
I'll go
It sounds like
Elliot,
he
I
should be
guess.
a villain in a Blade movie.
Never seen a Blade movie, but I can assume.
Okay.
So there we go.
All right. So, we did it. All right. Now, Survival of the Dead. All right.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Romero back again with his own money again in indie release. He put in $4 million this time. And do you know what the box office gross of this movie was?
$3 million.
$386,078.
That's domestic though, right?
That's worldwide.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, I'm sure it did better on home release, but really no one saw it in theaters. And why would you? Honestly, the last one had just come out. We were like, what are we doing? He's like, I'm going to bring back some of the characters, but it's not going to be found footage. I mean, I guess I was... Anyway, whatever. So it's based on The Big Country by William Wyler, which is a film from 1958. I've never actually seen it. I'm a fan of William Wyler, so maybe I'll add it to my list. But but also, I hated this movie, so maybe I don't want to watch a non-zombie version of it.
In what way? And like two old men have a dispute?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think like the whole premise is like jacked.
Well, don't let this deter you from that movie. I'm sure that's a great movie.
I mean, maybe. It's William Wyler, it's got to be. But I would have said the same thing about a fucking George Romero movie before these last two.
Yeah.
All right. It came out September 9th, 2009. I don't remember the advertising, but I bet it was like 999. How about that?
Good.
You know what I bet they did? Here, check this out. If I was the advertising guy, I would have put it 666 and then it spins around. 999. How about that?
There was a movie called 666. All the advertising was like it came out on 666 and they were like on 666.
Are you sure?
100%.
Wasn't that just like an Omen remake or something?
No, there's 100% a movie called 666 that came out on 666.
Okay.
June 6, 2006.
I don't recall. So anyway, I don't have anything. It's of course not been nominated for any awards, and I mean not even a Razzie because like no one saw it. And so let's just get straight into it. I wrote down like basically no notes for this movie, to be honest, because like
I made that up, by the way. It's 11, 11, 11.
Oh
I
my
think I just
god, you asshole!
Yeah, I just used 6 because we were talking about the 666. But it's 11, 11, 11 horror film.
All right,
Oh my god, Darren Lynn Bousman made this movie.
maybe you should watch it.
He made some of the Saw films.
I'm aware.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
All right. Can we?
All right, sorry.
So yeah, I stopped taking notes on this about 20 minutes in.
Okay.
Because I'd already checked like how much time there was left in the movie like 3 times by then, and I'd already given up on it ever being at all good.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't give up on this podcast, so I paid attention throughout.
You're like John Cena. You never give up.
Yeah.
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 You can hold up that little towel.
Yeah. With
Yeah.
the little hand in the circle with the line through it.
That's
Never give
right.
up.
Yeah.
All right, well, this one. So here's my big question. I don't know what that movie you were talking about earlier is, but my thing I sort of struggle with is like, how are two old men who are like pretty similar having such a disagreement about something like this? Like, I feel like they would have the same values about most things, but then on this issue, they're like, no,
No, I
feel this way.
I think they have opposite values on all things. I think what he's trying to do here is like set up a generations long divide on this island.
Yeah, they don't have like a family thing, don't
Yeah, I think it's like a Hatfields and McCoys kind of thing.
they? Okay.
So, or like the Capulets and the Montagues. How about that?
Yeah, I know that one.
You know what that's a reference to?
Absolutely.
Do you?
Absolutely.
What is it?
Hamlet.
Logan, you're embarrassing
I'm
yourself.
kidding.
You're
I was
embarrassing yourself.
I was just kidding.
Were you? What is it from?
It's Romeo and Juliet.
Okay, great.
That was
Okay.
obviously a joke. Come on.
I don't know with you sometimes. You've never read a book.
There's a part in Buffy where in this week where Oz says something sarcastic and they're like what? And he's like, that was my sarcastic voice. And they're like, oh, I couldn't tell. And they're like, yeah, everyone says it's the same. And that's been me my whole life. So
It sounds a lot like your regular voice.
I know. It's been a problem my whole life.
Yeah,
I connected a lot with Oz in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
All right. So the whole thing takes place starting like a week after the zombie outbreak. And it's on an island called Plum Island off the coast of Delaware. Okay? And you might think, because it's off the coast of Delaware, a bunch of like whatever, like rich white people have like vacation houses there. But it's not really true. What's going on this Plum Island is it's like Ireland during the potato famine, but in present day.
Yeah, it was really weird, right?
It's absolutely insane. I have no idea what Romero is thinking here. There is no place like this that exists in the world or could ever exist in the world. It's
Maybe
just
Ireland.
It's the O'Flynn. Yeah, I guess so. But even then, like, it would be hundreds of years ago on like the Irish plains. Like this is an Irish town, like the fucking town in
It's like New Asgard, right? Remember when they make New Asgard in Infinity War?
Yeah. I was gonna say it's like the Banshees of Inisherin, but like not that advanced.
Yeah, they don't have donkeys yet.
Yeah. It's the O'Flynn's versus the Muldoons. That's the families here, and but they're just generic Irish names, and they sound stupid coming out of each other's mouths. Like the whole movie is just two old guys yelling at each other, like, "I don't know what you're thinking about, Muldoon. I'll take you out right now in the back, and we'll get into a real Donnybrook."
See, this sounds good when you're just describing it like this.
And the other one's like, "I don't know, O'Flynn. I'm just trying to protect my lass.
My daughter.
Yeah.
Has a daughter.
It's fucking insane.
And there's a twist on the daughter, right?
I don't even remember.
Well, there's like, you think she died, but there's a twin. So
yeah. But can I ask you something? I was like barely paying attention to the movie at that point. But like, They get to the island because the dad, right? One of the dads, who's played by Wyndham Earle from Twin Peaks, he gets like exiled from the island.
Oh, there's a time jump. Remember? It goes like 3 weeks later, and that guy had been living there, and he'd been like luring people there, and like stealing their stuff or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, but he was exiled, right? Like Coach.
Yes.
Yeah. And so they put him on a boat, and he's like, "Aren't you coming with me, lass?" to his daughter. And she's like, "No." Well, she speaks normal. "No, Dad, I'm going to stay here with the family that we hate." So he leaves, and he comes back with like a whole crew, like 3 weeks later or whatever. And he immediately sees his daughter on a horse, but it's a zombie, and he's like, "Oh my god, my daughter's dead." and then it's revealed that she has a twin. But doesn't the dad know that he has a twin daughters?
Later, when it was revealed there was a twin, I was thinking back to his reaction. I was like, did he reacted, one, like he didn't know she was dead, and two, like he only had the one daughter.
Yeah,
right?
He acts like he is certain this is the daughter we met earlier, and he's really upset she's dead. Where's this other daughter been the whole time?
Yeah, it's really weird. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's fucking terrible. And in the intervening time, what's been going on the island is whatever the other family is, they're trying to teach the zombies how to not eat humans. They're trying to like direct them to eat horses. That's the plot of this movie.
Yep. They did that. That was episode 1 Walking Dead thing. They already ate a horse. Episode 1.
Did they? I don't
Or maybe
remember
episode
that.
2. Maybe like a 2-part or something. You don't remember? That's like in the street. They eat the horse. Rick's in the tank. They're eating that horse.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. That is
That's
episode
iconic.
1.
Yeah, episode 1, and then Glenn's like,
Because
hey, asshole, in the tank.
Because episode 2 is bad. That's when they meet that like crew of Vatos.
That's not episode 2. That's like
That
episode
is-
6.
That is episode 2.
I would bet I don't even love my life that much, but I would bet my whole life that you're
I
wrong.
would bet my life that I'm right.
It's at
bet
least
you
episode 4.
look up fucking Walking
I
Dead.
will.
I bet episode 2 is called Vatos.
Well, you're wrong. You're about to fucking die. So hope you're ready.
Oh, you're right. It is episode 4.
Oh, yep. Don't,
Fuck.
Early Walking Dead. I'm undefeated. I know early Walking
Yeah,
Dead.
you're right. Episode 2 is that one where they put the zombie guts on them and walk through the town.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. All right. So,
That is bad, though. You're right. Vatos.
that's the worst episode of the first season. That's like the
Yep.
first sign this show might not be as good as you think.
I'm looking at these episodes. That's not even close. That's the only bad one.
Yeah, no, that's a good. It's 6 episodes. All the other ones are good.
Yeah. Everyone go watch season 1 of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, but skip episode 4.
Vatos. Yeah.
All right, so what do we got? There's so the
I want to bring
other.
something up.
I'd love to hear it.
That when they exile the guy, one of his pals is like, yeah, I think I'm going to stay here, actually. I'm not going to go with you. I'm not going to go to the island with you. You remember that? Like one of his pals
Yeah.
stays? And I bring that up because that guy is from a Saw film, okay?
Oh God!
And he's
damn
not
you.
he's not a big character, but I did recognize him, and I had to look him up to see like what his credit was in Saw. But he's in Saw 4, and he's just credited as Vagrant. He's like in Saw 4, they put a guy who's like been raping people in a trap.
Oh my God!
He's like a hotel manager or something, and this guy's like a vagrant who's like just hanging out in the hotel.
Oh yeah, so like he's sort of like the peddler in Child's Play.
A little bit like that, but
Yeah.
he's only in the alleyway, right?
Yeah.
This guy's like in the lobby of the hotel.
Wow, how'd he get in there? Good for him.
I don't know. The guy was busy raping, not watching the front door.
I guess so. I guess you're right, man. Man, if you're gonna be a hotel manager, don't rape. That's a creepy thing to do, right? Getting
Maybe
into
in
people's
general,
rooms.
I would say don't.
Yeah, but especially then.
I would say number one top of the list, not of people to not do it. Hotel managers.
I would say top of the list priests, but then hotel managers.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Because priests are dealing with kids and shit. Maybe
No.
teachers too.
But what about Uber drivers? Hear a lot of terrible stories about Uber drivers.
They're low on the list. Like they seem.
They can do it. They can
half
do
of
it.
them seem like rapists.
Why do you say that?
I've been in a lot of
people
Ubers.
gotta have a job. You just look down on it because you hate driving. So like people that live off, you did that with me too. Like delivery driving, you're like, well, you deliver or driver? What is that?
You might be right about this.
I think I am right about that.
Yeah.
I'm right about that. Anyway, so can we talk about the crew? There's like a crew that we
Yeah, I was gonna get into that. That's like the other through line of this movie is there's a crew of National Guardsmen led by the dude from the last movie who seemed like a sociopath, but in this movie is like our hero.
Yeah.
Um,
He robbed our heroes in the last movie.
and
Oh my god. It's kind of like Fast and Furious, how like all the bad guys are in the family. That's kind of like this guy now.
yeah, yeah, that's how that goes. He's like the The what's his
Statham?
name? Yeah, Shaw of this, the Deckard Shaw of this franchise.
Yeah.
All right, so him and his crew, which includes like a young boy. Weird.
Who is the young boy, Daniel?
Is this Roderick?
Yeah, this is Roderick. He recast him. He's playing a new role in this movie. And here he is.
Roderick
Who's the woman,
from
by the way?
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Do you know the woman?
No, what? There's a woman.
Yeah, remember she's mad. She's gay. She's like, if only there was a hot chick I could fuck.
I did recognize her from stuff. Do you
Yeah,
know
like
what
what?
she's from?
I know where she's from. Yeah,
What do you know her from?
I know her from Saw 4 and
Oh,
Saw 6.
fuck off! Jesus Christ!
She's Agent Perez. She's like the special agent with Strom. They're partners. Remember Strom from I almost said Happy Gilmore from Gilmore Girls.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh, she's his partner. I do know what you mean.
She gets like shrapnel in her face, and she's out of a movie, and then she comes back.
Yeah,
and then Hoffman kills her.
I think I knew her from House of Cards.
Oh, okay.
She's in that, and she for like a few episodes, and she's also in that show, The Manifest on Netflix. I watched the first couple episodes of that. Spoilers, terrible. So yeah, but she was actually pretty good in this movie. I thought she added like an energy that was at least different from everyone else. Like you're dealing with so many fucking cartoon characters in this movie talking all Irish that like it's a pleasure to be around her for a couple minutes. Although there's that one scene where she's like masturbating with her gun for no reason.
Shit, that was with her gun?
I think her gun was there. Either way, why is she masturbating?
You got him to the
But
end of the
the
world.
other National Guard guy is right there.
She's gay though.
But he's not.
But she keeps telling him like I have no interest in you, and he seems
So
to...
stop masturbating in front. That's mixed signals.
I think
If a girl starts masturbating directly in front of me, I'm gonna assume she wants to fuck me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I understand. I guess the gay thing doesn't really matter at all. I think, by the way, the like masturbating with the gun, I think that's from Beef. I think you saw that in Beef recently. Ali Wong does that.
Oh yeah,
In Beef. She like gets the gun out of the safe and is like masturbating with it.
I thought that was pretty good actually. I mean, I wasn't that into Beef, but I liked that part.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot what we were talking about, to be honest. But
Well,
yeah, I didn't like that guy though. The guy that was like continuously like I can make any woman.
Oh my god! Yeah,
you know?
I hate any dude that's like that, and those are the dudes that are worst at sex
Yeah. How do you know?
because they won't shut up about. Like I just can tell.
Yeah.
All-
Argue with you.
I mean, it's true of women too. All the worst blowjobs I've ever gotten are by women that are like, I give the best blowjobs. No.
I have this thing called an oral fixation. You wouldn't even believe what that is.
Or an oral fijación, as Shakira sometimes calls it.
What? Oral fijación? She says that?
Shakira, you know that song, Whenever, Wherever?
course.
Okay, so that was on...
To be together.
Right. I'll be there and you'll be near. So that was on an album.
That was like Kermit the Frog.
Well,
She's
that's
like
what
Kermit the Frog.
She
a
is
little
like
bit.
Kermit the Frog. She's like a sexy Kermit. But she that song is on an album called Oral Fixation, and it's called that here in America. But the Spanish version of that album is called Fijación Oral.
Okay.
So anytime anyone says oral fixation, I think about that.
All right. I can get behind that.
Sure. All right. Anyway, back to the movie. So the National Guard guys, they're all trying to get. They hear about an island.
Oh wait, there's also another guy. There's the main guy from the last movie has a buddy, and he ends up dying. He's like, I would never take a bullet for you, but then he ends up taking a bullet for him, like he has a character arc or whatever. And then, but his friend dies. So there's like that other guy. He dies.
Whatever.
I just wanted to bring it up.
So they're all trying to get to this island because they hear about it. They hear about a beach, right? We got to get to Slaughter Beach. And I don't know about you, Logan, but if I'm in the middle of the zombie apocalypse, Slaughter Beach is the last place I want to be.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not going there.
Yeah.
But they do, right?
But the name of the island's nice. Plum Island. Hey, would you like to come to Plum?
You like plums? I don't really like plums. I would stay away from there.
I don't either, but I think it's a funny name for
If
the
it was like
island.
Strawberry Island, I'd definitely go there.
Yeah. Or Candyland.
Yeah, then you're there. Twizzler Land.
Twizzler Island, yeah. Logan,
Yeah.
tell me more stuff that happens in this movie.
Oh my god. Well, they put a fire extinguisher in one's mouth and blow its eyeballs out.
That was fucking garbage.
It was.
A, I don't even know how that would work. B,
What do you mean? Seems pretty logical. to me.
I don't know. B, it looks terrible. Like, of all the bad special effects in these last two Evil Dead movies, that one might be the worst.
Yeah, I agree. Well, in the next scene, they light a guy on fire and then light a cigarette on his head.
Oh, that looked fucking horrible too.
Yeah, back to back, horrible.
Oh my god. I mean, and these don't seem like, remember when we were talking about Land of the Dead and you were like, these probably seemed fine at the time. They're just dated now. I don't think these seemed fine at the time.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know.
These
I
last
don't
two
know.
movies, I'm sure people saw at the time and were like, this is garbage.
Well, you can tell. I mean, the box office says they clearly gave up.
Well, I don't, but it had a bigger budget than the last one.
But the box office is dropping. People they stopped going.
Oh,
Clearly
yeah.
they realized that they're not good, right?
I guess so, man. It's funny because, like, George Romero's so revered now that, like, I mean, he was back then too, but, like, nerdy stuff has become so part of the popular consciousness that if Romero was still alive today making zombie movies, studios would definitely be bankrolling him. He'd be getting actual big stars to be in the movies. You wouldn't see the fucking Mentalist. It'd be like Chris Pratt.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, how old would Romero be today?
I'm just saying, like, if he was like born 10 years later or something.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd still be making zombie stuff, but they definitely would have been after this. Like, The Walking Dead surely would have sparked more zombie movies if he was alive, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
They could have ripped off things that The Walking Dead ripped off from them and then made jokes about it. That would have been great.
Yeah.
The guy, Nick Frimes, that could have been their lead. I could have played Nick Frimes.
Oh my
Hey guys, I'm Nick Frimes. What's up?
what would Carl be?
Snarl.
Snarl!
Snarl.
Oh boy. All right.
Wait. Well, something I mean, I was gonna say something I didn't like about this movie, but there's lots of things I didn't like about this movie. But the girl, Agent Perez from the Saw movie, she's gay, as we talked about, and they meet the guy, and he's like, I gotta go get back to my daughter, and she's like, ooh, a daughter.
Oh yeah.
And then they have
Oh,
zero
a
interaction.
living woman. How about
Like,
that?
I was so looking forward to Agent Perez and the daughter, that meeting, and I thought maybe like that would actually be something. And they do not talk a single time.
No, they have no actual interest in that. They just wanted to make a joke about lesbians being into ladies.
Yeah, it sucked. It was like an actual plot point I was looking forward to. It just gets dropped.
Yeah. In favor of these two old men and their blood feud.
Yeah. Yes, right. Well, why did that one guy that he goes swimming at one point? He goes to get the boat at the dock. He's like, I can drive a boat as good as I can please a woman or something like that. And he gets the boat, but on his way there, they realize there are a bunch of zombies in the water, right? Like in the last movie.
Yeah.
And he gets sick later, and they're like, "What, did the zombie bite you while you were in the water?" And he's like, "No, but to get back at him, I bit one of them." And they're like, "It's like, why? Why did that guy bite a zombie's finger off? That was so stupid. Why would anybody do that ever in the zombie apocalypse?"
I think I missed that part.
Yeah, that guy who died, Cisco.
That's how he died. He didn't get bitten.
During the swimming, he decided to bite a zombie's finger off.
That's
how he
so
died.
stupid.
It's so dumb, right?
Yeah.
Couldn't get over that. Why anyone would ever do that? Something like it reminded me of the last movie when Maslany when she kills herself. It was like, why would anybody kill themselves because they run somebody over? Like she ran somebody over and they're like, it's a zombie, and she walks off and just kills herself. It's like, what? Some of his writing choices make zero sense. Anyway,
I mean, it's post brain tumor, bro.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah. You got anything else? I've got nothing.
Yeah, for sure. At one point, I forgot who this was. Oh, Flynn. He's like walks off. He's like, I gotta sneak in. If we're walking in a group, they're gonna see us. And so he sneaks in by himself. But then on his way there, they see zombies like chained up doing their tasks, because they kept them chained up because they didn't want to kill them, right? They were trying to teach them how to eat pigs and horses and whatnot.
Right.
And so, but he's like, I gotta sneak in. But while he's trying to sneak in, he's killing all the zombies with a gun. He's just shooting a gun, killing all these zombies that are chained up. Like, you're trying to sneak in, as George Romero just said in the dialogue, and then now he's having just another stupid choice, I thought. They mentioned a place, Dalmatian, Alabama. That's not real. I looked it up. It's not a real place.
Well, I don't think Plum Island off the coast of Delaware is real either, with Slaughter Beach.
Yeah, fair enough. By the way, one of the guys, it was O'Flynn and Muldoon. His name was Seamus.
Oh, yeah.
So,
were
I
you
like
excited
that
about
guy.
that because of the wrestler?
Yeah, I was a little more on his side because of the wrestler, but
At one point, the daughter of the Muldoons did something smart, and I said, "Clever girl."
great. That's great. I love it. I mean, what happens? Like they bite, but it turns out the guy was right. They do eat the horse at the end,
Yeah, they nailed it.
and you're like,
and then you
wow.
get that last shot of them like walking towards each other with like the moon behind them. It's very artsy.
It's like a western.
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
It's like a zombie western.
It's like the one shot of the movie where you're like, oh, this is what he was going for with the
yeah,
whole
that's
movie.
kind of sick, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
you're right.
But
Like if that was a poster, that'd be a cool poster.
I agree. Yeah. Anyway, it's like that was the only thing he had in his head when he set out to make this movie. It was like it's all getting down to those two guys on either side of the moon.
Yeah, I feel like I might have seen that when that happened. It like something clicked on me. I was like, oh, I feel like that's like an image I've seen before. So I feel like you're right. That's like what the thought he had, and then he tried to build a movie around it.
Yeah. A terrible movie.
Yep. I give it a 1.
Yeah, me too. Me too, Logan. Who's your MVP of this one?
My MVP, I'm going with the woman, Agent Perez from the Saw films. I agree with you. I thought she was like a good presence. Everyone else was like such a caricature, and she was like, I thought she was cool.
I thought the one girl that's like that had the twin was okay.
Say it again. Oh, the other girl who had the twin.
Yeah. Kathleen Monroe is her name. Oh, she was on that show Tim's obsessed with, Patriot.
Oh, interesting. Is that animated show?
No, it's Amazon
Is that
Prime. He's recommended that to us like a million times. You don't even know whether it's live action or animated.
I thought it's not even that I don't know. It's that I was like 80% sure it was animated.
It's not.
Like I thought that it was. I'm sorry. That's cool though.
Okay. So I'll go with her. But I mean, it's just another movie like the last one where the whole cast is just Canadian TV actors
Or from Saw.
or from Saw,
Yeah.
which which I think they shot the whole thing in Canada, so makes sense.
I made a list. There ended up being 7 Saw cast members from all these movies, and some of them they repeat.
Yeah, that's true. As different characters.
Yeah, like Roderick and. Well, I guess he's the only one that's a different character.
He's not your MVP, Roderick?
No, got to be Perez.
You didn't think he ruled?
He did rule, but Perez ruled even harder.
Okay. Who's your LVP?
I gotta go with that Cisco guy for biting off that finger and trying to force this woman into having sex with him even though she's gay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bad.
Pretty bad character there.
That's a bad character. I'll go with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not O'Flynn.
No, I mean they are so just insane though. I wouldn't go with O'Flynn. I'd go with the other one, Muldoon.
Yeah, but he's Seamus Muldoon, so that's kind of cool.
I know, but like at least O'Flynn, he was like so out there that like you could kind of like you could pretend he's doing like a Nicolas Cage and the Wicker Man kind of a
Yeah, he
thing.
like took over that dock and was like luring people there to trick them. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
The guy's like a little troll, man. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny.
The other guy was just kind of like a boring dude with a ridiculous Irish accent. So
Yeah, who wanted to like get them to eat chickens.
yeah.
That's boring.
All right. That's
Oh, we got to
the
rank
movies.
these.
And I read that George Romero's widow, he's got a script that he was working on at the time of his death, Logan, and she plans on getting that movie made.
Yeah, I don't see
Okay.
that happening really.
Oh, well, it's called Twilight of the Dead, Logan. It takes place like I think like 100 years in the future, and it's like there aren't many people living anymore.
If there aren't vampire zombies, then I don't know what they're doing.
Well, I hope there is. That'll be great, right?
There has to be. Yeah.
Here, let me
get Cam Gigandet back.
Cam. Oh, right, yeah. It's set in a decimated world. Life has all but disappeared, but there may still be a hope for humanity. That's what it's about.
All right. Well, I'm excited. Do they have a director on board?
No, there were
F. Gary Gray, maybe?
Why would it be F. Gary Gray?
I think I thought of him because he's a Fast and Furious director.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What do you do? The 8th one? No, the 9th one?
No, the eighth
the
one.
eighth
You were right. Yeah, Justin Lin came back for the 9th one.
Yeah, you're right.